These are the must-do requirement for if you own a 2014 Dodge Ram. These are a must-do requirement maintenance that you got to do right now to keep up with making sure your truck live a longer life. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys having a great Wednesday. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys, if you own a 2014 Ram 1500, these are must-do routine maintenance that I do myself personally that you got to do with your truck. You got to make sure you go through a checklist and do all of these things. It's a must-do requirement. And even if you got a Ram in general, these are things that you would do with any kind of car in general. But this list that I came up with is really strictly for people who own a Ram 1500 or you own a 2014 Dodge Ram. But before we get into this video, I want to tell you thank you for taking your time out and viewing my channel and being able to, you know, if you subscribe or if you watch my video, this and that, I appreciate it. Thank you. And it is a freezing cold day to the NPA, man. We got another day of some snow. I think that's the most I ever seen over the past, I'd say probably year and a half. Like last year, I feel like last year it ain't really snowed that much, but this year we got some good amount of snow starting this year, I'll say. So far, I think it's the third or fourth time that it snows. So, but it's nothing crazy. But you know how that goes. When it snows, they pour a lot of salt on the road. So, but with that being said, so this is strictly depending on how you use your vehicle and your driving condition and stuff like that. So pretty much how you really go about. If you like use your vehicle, then majority of these things that I listed on here, then you got to do it. But if you're not a person who really drive your vehicle much, some things do, you know, require for you to do. But I'm just gonna give you some like highlight points, and pretty much you got to do a regular oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection. Pretty much you got to replace your air filter, check your fluids, replace your spark plugs. Now all of these things right here, some of them it doesn't require for you to do, only if you a person who drive your truck a lot and you use it for hauling, doing pretty much stuff like work, then all of this stuff on this list, yes. But if you're not really that much of a person who drive your truck anyway, there's only a few things on here you can check off that you need to do, but it still will help you in the long run. So these are my key maintenance points for a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500 that you should be doing if you own this truck. This is according to your owner. Some of this like is according to your owner manual. Like it tells you majority of these things in there that I'm listing right now by the list. So your oil and filter change, that's something you should be able to do every 75,000 miles to like probably 10,000 miles, depending on whatever kind of oil you go with, or synthetic, regular, or even if you driving your vehicle a lot, then yes, you want to be able to do that and check your. If you got a filter, you definitely got to change your filter every oil change, because we know how those filters is. Like those filters is really like a dirt magnet, so you want to be able to change it every oil change. My next one is the tire rotation. I'll be honest, it's something every oil change you should be able to do, or every pretty much 8,000 miles that they require for you to do it. But I'm not really like because these are brand new tires I have in my truck, but I try to do at least like probably every couple months for me. I don't really do it as often. Like they tell you like every oil change, pretty much. Like that's not something that's major, but it's definitely required for you to do though. And then the next one is going to be brake inspection. Brake inspection, every oil change is definitely needed. Like you got to inspect your brakes. Your brakes is what's going to stop your vehicle and stuff like that. You definitely don't want to take that lightly. You want to inspect your brake pads, or inspect for any kind of sound coming from your brakes. If you have any kind of sound coming from your brakes, 9 times out of 10 you probably need brake pads, or your brake pads is worn out. And you definitely want to take that more like something that you got to do every oil change, not just when you go get an oil change. You just strictly get an oil change and stuff. My next in line is going to be air filter check, inspect, and replace every 15,000 miles to 20,000 miles. That's what they tell you. Your air filter, you're supposed to do it. I think personally, it's like that's something you want to check every like oil change, because like your air filter is like really, like I said before, it's one of them things that really like bring in a lot of dirt. Like you'll be surprised when you pop off the filter from on your air filter, you look on the inside of that round tube, like there's a lot of dirt that's sitting there. So most people, if you got a brand new truck, it might be a little bit different, but if you like the first, second, or if you like the second, third owner of a truck, you definitely want to be keeping track of that, because sometimes a lot of dirt built up on there and that itch could go right in your vehicle, and like you don't really want something like that. But if you got a core air intake, that's even better. You don't really, I think some core air intake you could clean them out, but it's a lot better from the stock air filter and stuff intake that's on these trucks. So my next one is going to be the suspension inspection. Pretty much when I mean suspension inspection, you got to check your tire rods, your ball joint. Every time you go get your truck, when your truck is in the air, lift it up, grab your tires, shaking your front tires, make sure your ball joints and tire rods, everything is in place. Look for anything pretty much loose and stuff like that. These are just all big, like regular things. I'm not saying that's gonna happen every like oil change, something gonna break or whatever, but you'll be surprised. Sometimes there's things underneath there that been on these trucks for quite some time, and sometimes they wear out and you might not even notice. Like it might not even have like a damage or sound, but once you take a look at it, you see that it's damaged. So that's definitely something important for you to do. My next one is you want to do regular fluid checks, such as your coolant and your trans. I typically like every time I go, probably sometimes when I do my oil change during the summertime, I normally would check my fluids anyway. My trans, I don't really mess with that stuff like that. I check it, but I don't really mess with it to where like I have to pull the dipstick out and stuff like that. You don't have to do it with these trucks. Like you could just look on your dashboard. You'll be able to check your trans and your coolant fluid level and stuff. Like you don't really have to do it like the old school way. That's one good thing about this truck that I like. You'll be able to see like your fluid level on there to know like when you got to fill up or something like that. My next one is the spark plug replace every they tell you every 100,000 miles. Me honestly, I think it really depends. Like if you got OEM spark plugs, then yeah, but sometimes if you go with some cheap brand spark plugs out there, sometimes them ish be like it's less than 100,000 miles. Like you'll start seeing like probably a check engine light come on. You will have some kind of like issue with your truck not driving right. That's when you will know like something is kind of off. So you want to be able to like, if you're gonna do spark plugs, definitely go OEM, or go with some kind of high end brand if it's not OEM. But don't get. I wouldn't recommend you getting a spark plug. I wouldn't recommend you getting spark plugs from eBay, because there's a lot of stuff like that. I wouldn't just want to like go off of what somebody posted on there, because it could be some cheap after brand stuff that could you put that in your truck and it could cost you later on down the road. But all of these things that I'm naming, you want to make sure you check your own owner manual book that's in your truck, exactly what they tell you to do. That's what you want to follow up on. And some of these things really like depend though on how you use your truck. So like I was saying, if you're a person who you tow a lot with your truck, then 9 times out of 10 you want to be able to do all of these things on the checklist. And if you drive a lot, but if you don't drive a lot, you don't really tow beat on your truck, some things you got to do just to make sure everything is cool. But these are requirement not just for strictly 2014 Ram, but these trucks, like you gotta really like, if you got a Ram in general, like you really gotta, I wouldn't say baby them, but you gotta treat them like a person, because sometimes these issues would give up on you. I mean, not like that, but you could have some issues sometimes that can lead to multiple issues, just all from you just not doing like one simple thing. So you definitely want to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to your routine maintenance on your rim. That's why I said this is typically required for a must-do routine maintenance. Like, you gotta do it. No if and buts. Like, better safe than sorry. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I definitely see you guys in the next one. Peace.